multiple reasons, I am not doing an episode next week. On Friday, by next week, I mean next week from today. I'm going to do this episode, and then on Monday there's going to be another episode, but then next Friday there will not be an episode, and I will explain why when I do Monday's episode. Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Lyle, and this is WNBA Weekly, the show where twice a week, usually on Mondays and Fridays, I will sit here in front of this camera, talk about things that have happened recently in the association, and a few things that I'm looking forward to in the upcoming days. And fair warning, hopefully I can put this up. If it doesn't go up in time, it's because I've been having issues with my laptop recently. So, technical difficulties. It's a thing that happens in the real world. So a quickie recap of a few of the things that have happened this week. On Tuesday, you've got Seattle versus Atlanta. That game goes into overtime. Atlanta hangs on to win. The Storm have now lost 3 in a row. You've got LA versus the Wings. Skylar Diggins has 28. Chelsea Gray has 24. But LA, they led wire to wire. It was total domination. The Wings are really struggling so far this early part of the season. And then on Wednesday, what I consider the game of the week, you have the Liberty versus the Sun. Jonquel Jones has yet another double-double, one of 5 Sun players in double figures. And for the first time since 2014, the Connecticut Sun actually beat the New York Liberty. And now they've jumped their way back up into the playoff standings. And I've been saying this all year. If the Connecticut Sun are in the playoffs at the end of the regular season, Jonquel Jones needs to be in legitimate consideration for MVP. And imagine what happens when Sinead comes back next year. This team gets twice as scary. Then on Thursday, you have the Fever versus the Dream, and all I really have to tell you is the Fever played at home. So that alone probably tells you the outcome of the game. And then you have the Sparks versus the Stars, and well, it's the Stars, so you probably know how that game turned out too. So yeah, long story short, I'm in a rush to get through this, so here are your current standings. Now moving ahead to the weekend action, there are 6 of the 7 games that are played this weekend are going to be on NBA TV, including a doubleheader on Friday and a tripleheader on Sunday. So order yourself some pizza, get yourself some bag of chips, just plant your ass on the couch and be ready to watch, because there are plenty of great storylines worth paying attention to. And don't forget, every time that I mention is Eastern Standard Time, don't forget to adjust for your time zone. On Friday, you've got the Liberty versus the Wings at 8 o'clock, and then you've got the Mercury versus the Sky at 10. And the Wings, they're a decent team. They played fairly well, but they've had a really tough schedule. Unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily excuse them, because if you want to be considered legitimate contenders, you have to be able to win the tough games against the tough opponents. And of course, with Diana Taurasi on record watch, she only needs 29 points to become the all-time leading scorer in WNBA history. And she's had 30-point games many times in her career. And it is Chicago. They've struggled many times this season. On Saturday, only one game, the Sun versus the Lynx. Minnesota undefeated, but right now you got the Sun on a 3-game winning streak. Jonquel Jones is looking beastly. I mean, they've played amazing. Like, every game you watch, you pretty much expect the Lynx to win. But you also know in your heart they're not going to go 32-0. It's just a matter of who's going to do it and when's it going to happen. Then on Sunday, you've got a busy day, 4 games in action. One of them, the Fever at Sky, that is the only one not being broadcast. And with both of these teams, it's a little bit of good luck for one of them, because the Fever still completely winless on the road, so it could be a chance for the Sky to get a win, get themselves headed north, or it could be a chance for the Fever to finally get their first road win against the Sky team that has really, really struggled this year. And then you've got the triple header. You've got the Wings versus the Mystics at 3 p.m., Mercury versus the Sparks at 5 p.m., and Storm versus Stars at 7 p.m. Wings, we've already talked about them and how grueling a schedule they face. They've got 2 of the top 4 teams in the league this weekend. Meanwhile, Mystics holding steady at number 2. but all it takes is one loss to knock them out of the top 4. It's still a very early in the season and tough league. They don't necessarily have a secure hold on that number 2. You've also got the Sparks versus the Mercury. LA, they're looking for their 4th straight win, fighting for that 2nd spot. And you've got Diana Taurasi. If she doesn't have 30 points in on Friday, this is very likely to be the game where she does get number 1. So definitely gonna be glued to my television screen watching this. And then you finish the week with the Stars versus the Storm. The Storm have lost 3 in a row. You definitely don't want to get a 4th in a row, especially not against a team that has yet to beat anybody this year. That's push the panic button time. So that's it for this edition of WNBA Weekly. Tune in on Monday for another brand new episode. And until then, this has been The Fan Perspective. I'm your host, Nathan Nile. Hope you have a great weekend. I start editing the video only to find out that the cameras for some reason just cut off halfway through my outro, and I had to come and re-record it again. That's the kind of week I'm having.